All right, we are in the Michigan Links tournament, and what is it? It's on White Sands. Is that what it is? I I've only played this. How many times have we played it? Twice, and I don't really remember the fall major. I think the first time I played it was the Big Catch. Maybe I played both. I had to go back and watch. I was looking at the holes, and I was like, man, I don't even remember these holes. So I had to go back and watch my big catch tournament video just to kind of remember how to play some of them. So we'll see if I still play them the same way. For some reason, I know, like, you look at hole number one here, and if we draw an arc and we come out to this point and then we draw that little arc out, you'd have to get out in here to be in the same distance. But I was going this direction. I think what I liked better here was when you're out in this area, the roll up to the cup, it's coming up like this, going up to the green, and you got to kind of approach it on the hillside. I don't think I liked the approach shot coming here, but in order to get out into this area to get up by the sand, you had to bring a pretty big ball. You had to bring a power 5 ball if you want to hit on this side, but over here you could just tap it out there. So I'm going to hit over here just so that I can remind myself why I didn't like that shot and why I was going this direction. We'll see. We'll see. Let's go hole number one. I'm in Monday's qualifying round, so I'm going to use it as a practice round. Let me set my bags up because I got my bags all jacked up from this last tournament. I usually have bag number one as distance, bag number two is accuracy. Bag number three is the utility bag. That bag is set. Bag number four is my optional bag, just in case I need special stuff for some hole out there. And I'm pretty sure there's at least one of these holes that you need a Goliath on. Hole number two, that's par three. You need a Goliath, so I better have at least one bag with a Goliath. All right. Go out there and play with a Titan today. We'll play with a Titan today, see what we can get done with a Titan. I just want to check the course out. Try and remember it. Rookie. Here we go. I know that I was going, I went back and watched several of the videos, and I was hitting to the right here. Like I said, I was having to bring on a much bigger ball, so I really must not like this approach shot from the left. And maybe you got to bring out a big ball on that side as well. We'll see what my opponent's going to do. Titan. Perfect. I mean, it doesn't look that bad when you're just looking at it from right there, but I will have to try and remember. And what kind of distance can I get with a 3-power ball? Not shit. You got to bring out a big ball. Gots to bring out a big one. 4. I'm not sure if I can put that wind back in there. I'm going to put a little of it back in there. Hit me perfect. I put about half of it back in, so. And I could have put it all in. I could have put it all back in there. Got a little bit of room. Now, I'm sure if you want to do the rough bump from there, you're going to have to bring a Goliath. You'll have to. I'm going to probably be either in between clubs or minimum sniper. It's rolling back down the hill. Really curious as to why I didn't like this side over here. Why it was worth bringing out a bigger ball. You can't. I'm sure you could do a rough bump here if you had a Goliath, but no Goliath for me. It's going to end up short. Max Grizzly, 3 divided by 0.9. I'm just going to do a straight up shot. 333. If I could get it off in time, and I didn't. I did, but I rushed it. And that's funny, I hit that 2 rings great to the left, or the right, and it went in. So what does that tell you as far as like a wind adjustment? That is hilarious. That is hilarious right there. It did look like there was, that spot was a funnel. I was moving it around and the tip was staying on track. That is funny. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Let's see where we're at. Where are we? Where are we? We're on hole number 2. This is a rough bump with the Goliath, and I was hitting it from down in this zone over here, bringing it back around. I was using a katana and plus 20%. We'll see if that still works. Goliath. Katana. Where's the wind blowing? All right, we need this bag and a katana. Still trying to wake up. I've got 2 cups of coffee in front of me. We'll see. We'll see if I can wake up and see how the round goes. Maybe. I didn't write down anything as far as like what I was doing for a spin. .4 divided by, and I have no idea where am I at in my club. I'm right at max. That's 1.9 per ring. Divided by 1.9, 2.14 rings. Perfect. Did I do that right for the, yeah, it's 1.9. 1.9. Oh. Maybe that should be plus 0.1. Close. Close. Is that just a little bit of an overpull there? Or is that minus 0.1? I have to go back and watch that. This is why it's so important to record your own gameplay, because you're playing and you're thinking one thing, and you go back and watch the video and you're like, I underpulled it, or I overpulled it, or which side did I miss it on? I did miss. Did I miss that on the left? I think I did miss it on the left, so that means I overpulled it with that wind. So it'd be minus 0.1. Or I just made a bad pull. I jokingly say that all the time, where it's like, yeah, it's 2.14 is what the calculator says, and I moved at 2.14 exactly. You're either rounding that 4 up or down, and I've usually find that if you're like trying to get the 4 and you're trying to split that difference, you usually end up over pulling it. It's just better to do the 2.1. It's amazing how just that little bit of a pull can make a difference, though. It's funny to have seen the progression of the game over the years, and that little bit of a little teeny bit used to not matter. But I think that Playdemic was surprised that the kid that figured out the win ring method, figured it out relatively quick after the game came out. And I think they were kind of surprised that people figured it out as fast as they did, because obviously they gave us no information at all about it. And then they've picked up on that, and they've really started to manipulate just the little micro adjustments. We used to not have to do all of these little micro adjustments like we do now. And it's even worse, obviously, if you're in upper tours where you've got secondary wind effect and you've got shit going on. If I remember correctly, Dunner was here and he was trying to get over this right here, bouncing off of this and trying to get over into here, but we've got some Power 5 topspin boost balls, and I think at the time we've got some topspin boost balls that might be able to get us over there. What we're looking for here is we really probably need side spin, and a hook might work better to try and get you off into that area. What I'm doing is going straight forward and trying not to bleed off the backside. There is, depending on which way the wind's going, you can come through here and you get bounce number 1 and bounce number 2's on the rough, and then it bleeds out. The thing about being down in this area is you really need a big club, and a big ball will help you, because you can't really, it just depends on what you've got. You really want to try and get in front of this little peninsula. So if you are back in this area, you may find yourself having to set your shot up where you're either back here and you're having to run a lot of topspin, which, even though you may be able to get this shot with a sniper, it might be better to bring out a big dog or a cataclysm because they got more topspin. Or you're having to set up over here, so you're going off in this direction, and then in order to make up the gap is where you really need like a 4 or 5 side spin ball. So, depending on where you're ending up, if you're ending up where you're having to take the shot here, then it might be worth bringing out a ball that's got a lot of side spin. If you end up here having a club that can get you up towards the green, I'm going to try and blast that sucker out to this spot so that I can bring a sniper and go more at the hole. I think what it'll do is it puts my angle such that, like, if you're out in this area, if you can get out into here when you're going towards the cup, if you set yourself off, you don't have to have as much side spin in order to get to the hole. You can still get a look at it. I didn't write down any numbers as far as what the second shot is to the cup, but I do know that I had a Power 5 ball on the drive. And you can overshoot this. Let's bring a Berserker. Berserker. What the hell are those balls? Harvest balls. There's some of those I probably need to get rid of. Move them out of the inventory, shorten the stack up. I went through about a year or so ago, I had a bunch that you had like 2 or 3 or 4 that were older balls, and I went through and I tried to use all of them up. I probably need to take a look at some of those types. I still have those Labor Day balls from 2017, the 323s. 3 power, 2 side spin, 3 wind. That used to be a special ball. If they came out with a ball like that now and said, yeah, to this week's, because you can't buy a 323 in the store. We have a special ball this week and it's 323. They would probably get 0 sales. And people would start rioting in the streets. Perry goes first. I remember Dunner trying to take that shot going over that sand to try and get over to that other fairway, and it did not go well for him. But I'm just wondering if you brought out a bigger power ball that's got topspin boost, if you really couldn't get that done. And I'm not sure that no matter what, that's like, I'm curious to see what their second shot's going to look like. I know they brought that precision ball and it's power 2, but it's a power 2 ball. I'm just curious to see what that second shot's going to look like from there. And it really seems like I'm going to overshoot that if I do that. Take the wind out. 4-2. We got 2 rings. I'm not going to put it back in. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if I can get over. Oh, yeah. Now, whoa down, Cat Daddy. Whoa down. Watching the video, I wasn't taking anything off of the top spin and getting right out to the edge, but in the weekend round, I did roll off. Yeah, they are able to get up there with the power 2 ball. That's awesome. They're right at the red line. This ball's got 5 side spin. They could have brought a sniper and had a look at it. And from where they're at, the hole is definitely higher than them. That's a waste of a good precision ball. A waste. I'd forfeit this match to get one of those balls. I'll let you win, dude. And it's definitely uphill. So 2.6. I'm just going to do a straight up shot. 2.6, and I'm going to end up being against the red line. I wasn't paying attention good enough. 2.6. Just a titch and overpower, and I'm not going to worry about trying to overpower it. I just want to see if it gets a run towards the cup. Hitting it perfect. I think it'll run out if I'm in the right spot. It's going so far, I think it will run out. I guess that was online, so just a straight up. Almost an Albie. I like what my opponent was thinking, but I think from over in that area, just to make the second shot a little bit better and really be able to get in front, you can see how much let me go look at that hole again. I do think that depending on where you're out there, a ball that's got more than 2 side spin might really help you. You might get in a spot because the way that course was set up, where coming into the green, it was sloped like this. So where I was setting up out here, even though I had the max side spin on it, as I was moving it, it was really really moving the tail. The tail was wagging really big. So trying to get a spot out there, like you might be in a spot out in the fairway coming at it, that 2 side spin, you know, you'd think, well, I'll just move it more to the left and be able to bring it around. But the more you're moving it to the left, the more your tail is moving to the right. That you might find yourself with a spot out there that you're in a pretty decent spot, but you might not be able to get the ball to line up to the cup. So having more side spin might be helpful, just depending on where your finish spot is on the drive. All right. I'm going to look. I don't normally look during the rounds, but I'm going to look and see what kind of scores we got at the top. So that person's on track for a 15. I'm trying to decide whether I want to qualify today or not. I really just wanted to practice today and just do this as kind of a scouting report practice round. All right, I'll decide as we go along. We'll see how the rest of the round goes. All right, this was another... My notes here, I've got... is this hole number 4? I think this is where I missed the hole. I was looking at my notes and I was 1 hole short. I think I missed the hole when I was doing the thing, because right here I've got the drive with a 4 power ball and then a grizzly. So this must be the hole that I missed, and it threw my whole note things off, because I got to hole number 8 and realized that I wasn't on the right hole, and I've got a hole in my notes. I'm just going to take a sniper and a quasar. We'll see what it looks like out there. This might be the hole that I drop a shot on, just trying to figure it out. I'm going to bring a quasar just so I have a little bit more access to side spin. We'll see. We'll see if I need that. This is like going out on vacation and playing a course that you've never played before. If you go to some of those, I used to play golf avidly every day. I was either at the driving range or I was out on the course every day. See if we can find a spot out here that's got some kind of a... I do kind of like the flatness of that spot. We're at max. .6 divided by 0.9, 4. If I just did a straight up shot, 4 rings. Hit me perfect. If I'd go on vacation and I'd go to wow, I'm gonna have to pull that. And I did that at 0.9 per ring, and that was way off. That was like 30% off. Let me go practice. I'm gonna go in and practice that one from back there and see what the deal is. I'd go on vacation, go to some big resort course, and I would, before I got to the location, I'd get them to send me, way back in the day before internet, I'd have them send me something. Now you can get on and you can get the course layout. You can get the T card, or you can get the scorecard, or you can get information. Some of them have little booklets, and I'll show you the holes and really kind of map it out. So when I got out on the course, I knew, okay, on this hole, I'm going to lay it up over to there, because that'll give me, and then get out there and talk with the caddy. Go out to the course the day before, walk the course. Paying a lot of money to play on those resort courses and wanted to do good. The pros do that. I've been to the Masters several times, and before the tournament starts, there's always the practice day where everybody can they can go out and walk the course, and they can take a few shots, and they can see how they don't get to play a whole round, but they can go out and they can play and walk the course, and their caddy's taking notes, and it's always good on those holes to get a caddy as well. Let's go. I'm going to get out, and that was hole number 4. Let's practice that. I want to do that. I want to try a 30% on that. 1.3. Let's see if we can over pull it. Was that hole number 4? We'll see if we can over pull it and be on the other side of the hole, and of course the wind will be totally different. So we'll just see if that moves us in the right direction. I think that's hole number 5 right there. That's 6. That's 7. That's 8. That's 9. Got my notes all jacked up now since I missed a hole. Hole number 4. Trying to clean them up. I'll have to redo them completely. My opponent's got the same idea. A little nonchalant there on that setup. See how it rolls out. They left that quite a bit short, and let's see if it rolls out to the cup. Perfect. They had good speed. I'll give them that. They had good speed. 4 divided by 0.9. 577 rings. I hate it when you get into those spots where your ball guide's appearing and disappearing. 5.77 rings. There's 577 exactly. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if 30% got me closer to the cup. Still not enough. Still not enough. That was at least halfway from where I was before. I'll keep working on that hole. I'll get drastic. The whole deal is that like if you're playing a hole like this and you're trying to figure out, and you do, let's say you just did a straight up shot like I did on the first one, and you're way the hell off. You know, making a big jump like I did 30% right there, and it still wasn't enough. You know, your goal is you got the pin here, and the wind was blowing this direction, and you made an adjustment, and you didn't make any adjustment other than just a straight up adjustment, and you ended up way the hell over here, or excuse me, way the hell over here. You didn't pull it enough. You know, the whole goal is to make an adjustment that's so big that you end up on the other side. This is the clock game. So you started at 0 and you were here, so you went to 60%. And you're like, okay, 60% is too much. Now at least you have a band. Now you can do 30 and see where 30 puts you. You know, does 30 put you in the middle, or where are you off on the deal? And you can do the clock game. So 30 puts you still here. So you know that now you're between 30 and 60. So trying to pick one that's pretty drastically different. I'm gonna try 50 next time, and we'll see what that does. I'll do a 50 on it. And I only have one practice token left, so I'm not going to. And I don't want to watch any of those videos if I can help it. If I can help it. What are we on here? Hole number 5. Hole number 5. So if my notes are correct here, now if my notes are right. All right, I was using a extra mile and a power 4 ball. Now, I might have been using we'll have to see where the red lines are. I might have been using a rock and we're trying to do a rough bump to just get up onto this island, and you got a pretty nice shot coming up to the cup. But it is tricky to get onto this because this area where you're doing the rough bump is like this. And so it's really easy to come in and hit that and ending up getting a bounce coming back. Or end up, if the wind's blowing right, like let's say here's where the rough ends, getting too close to it and then ending up speeding across and ending up on the other side. Or if the wind's coming in this direction and you don't pull enough, you hit farther down here on the hill where you get that straight up action and then it comes backwards. That it was it's not a straight up, it's so bold right in here in this area where you're trying to do that rough bump that it is easy to get your ass in trouble. I think I tried this with a big topper as well, because you could run you could try and be farther down on the hill and you could run more topspin so that if it did hit a little bit on this curve, that you had so much topspin on there that it was forcing the ball to go in a forward direction. But if you hit up close to where the rough ended, then you were in big ass trouble off on the other side. Let's see if we can get out there with it's either going to be my number 1 or number 2 bag, and I did have a power 4 ball on there. I think it just got me into the area better, especially if it was on a headwind day. But I'm going to bring a Titan, the king of balls. We'll see what we can get it done with a Titan. Titan. And let's take bag number 1 to start off with. And we'll take bag number 2 and let's see if we can get it done with a rock. Just like the rock, because it's more accurate. So if you hit a grate to the left or the right, you hit a grate to the left or the right with an extra mile, 1 ring. It's always one. It's just 1 ring. Well, 1 ring is 2.1 miles per hour versus 1. And that's not going to work. That's not going to cut it. Man, that's fucking narrow. 2.8. That's a ring and a half. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to do a ring and a half. And that's actually about a 10% overpull. Hitting it perfect. Barely hit it. And I did push it. I'll have to go back and really watch the angles on that, because I don't know that I was set up that close on that second bounce. I thought it was a little bit further back, but if the wind actually pushed it more than the 10%, that might have been where I was at. It seemed like I was about where my they are real close. That's like less than a quarter of a ring. And you can see the way the wind's blowing. If it blows it off, they'll actually miss the rough entirely. And they're overpowering it. And they were that close. I'm not going to be surprised if this misses the rough entirely. Oh, they made a bad wind pull. Dude, you took the shot. You made the adjustment. I wasn't paying attention to your adjustment. I was watching where your bounce was. Yeah, there's Max Club. My notes say 4.5 backspin. So 3.3 divided by 0.9, 3.66 rings. There's 366. Hitting it perfect. I think that was just a bad bounce coming out. I'm not sure that was. I'm not sure I look at that and make an adjustment on it. And I'm not so sure I didn't short shoot that because I snapped it off so fast I was running out of time trying to find the spot out there. There's definitely a funnel-y looking area down there where you're trying to move it and you can't get... This is definitely a hole that I think is makeable if we can... The drive is what's going to be the trickiest part here. Is I think different wind directions, and that's so freaking narrow. Trying to do it, I'm never a real big. I know that there's a lot of shots we do second bounce rough bumps, and I'm not a super fan of them. But most of them are on pretty flat ground. That one right there is a dangerous ass rough bump. Hit the hole. In the hole. Hopefully this is hole number 6. I think my notes are right for the rest of the holes. Hopefully. Eagle. No Albie for me. Hole number 6. Hole number 6. What is hole number 6? Now, what were we doing on this hole? Hole number 6 was an extra mile Kingmaker. I think we were just hitting it straight forward down into this area. I was pulling back to the +3 mark with a Kingmaker, and I was using 4 to 5 topspin, just depending on which way the wind was blowing. If we were getting tailwind, I was using 4. If we were getting headwind, or excuse me, if we were getting tailwind, I was using 4. If we were getting headwind, I was using 5. 4 topspin. And then it was a grizzly to the cup. All right, let's try it. Let's try it. Really, if you think about it, I don't know that there's any other way to go at it. Let me look at that hole. You can get down there far enough, I think, because I was pulling back so far from the red line, you might be able to bring out a topspin boost ball and actually get over to the other side. They've got some of those 3-power topspin boost balls, those open balls, and you might be able to get through this and get over here, and then you're really in the catbird seat. And I think you had a pretty decent shot from here, so let's check it out. Let's check it out. Extra mile. I'm gonna bring a. No, I got them tagged, and it's selected already. That's why it's already at the top. Dumbass. These balls right here, the topspin boost ball there. I think you probably can get over. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see what that looks like. I'm just going to stretch it out there and we'll see, and then I'll switch back to a Titan. I think you can get over. If I'm pulling back that far from the red line. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think you could make it out and get on the other side over there with that. For sure. For sure. I don't know that I want to do that. 4 topspin. Pulling back to the +3 mark. 2.5. It's like a ring and a quarter. I should turn my grid on. Perfect. Getting me down there to the end. Now the second shot was a Grizzly, 0.9 per ring, 4 top spin, 2 left-hand side spin. And I didn't have any special stuff, no extra, just straight up 0.9 per ring. It's a Max Club. Whoa down, Cat Daddy. Whoa down. And obviously you can play this with a katana. It was a 4 and 2. Find the spot that works. .4, 4.88 rings. There's 4.88. Exactly. Oh. If you're going to hit it great one way or the other, it's always better to hit it on the side with the wind. So if you didn't pull it enough, it's better. Close. Close. 5 rings into the rough, though. You're way out in the rough in order to get that to work. My opponent found a spot with 1 side spin. Oh, that's 6 rings out in the rough. Let's see how many rings they move it. They moved at 5. So that's like a 25% if they did 1 per ring. It's like a 10% if they were doing 0.9 per ring, which is what I'm doing on my Grizzly. And it is drifting back down. So if they had a little bit more speed, just like on mine, if you had a little bit more speed, it might have just funneled right into the cup. In the hole. In the hole. I don't know if I like this course. It does seem like it's a little bit harder than a lot of the new courses that they've come out with lately. I know that they made this deal with the PGA and they're simulating a lot of the courses that are in real life. And I think that's awesome. But I wish that when they do the distances, or, the course, this hole looks like hole number 4 on this course. But, setting the hole up for Golf Clash distances and not like distances in the real world. I'm not sure if they do the distance stuff where it's like, hey, in the real world, this is a 400-yard par 4, and so we're going to have it as a 400. In Golf Clash, here's the cup, and you're like right on the edge of the cup. You couldn't put if you stuck something up against the ball and went straight down, that something is in the hole, and it'll say you're 0.25 of a yard. So what, you're 9 inches away, and you're that close. So Golf Clash's distances aren't comparable to the real world anyway, so it would be nice if they'd make the holes so that it just seems like a lot of these newer holes that they're coming out with are really pretty easy. I'm not saying that it's easy to get the eagle or you still have to sink that money shot to the cup, but it does seem like the holes are pretty easy. And this hole right here, the last tournament, I must have not. It's one of those we were wedged up in this area right here where white ring was just barely touching the sand, and then the white ring on this side was just barely into the rough, and then bringing it around. But there's so much movement on the hole. At the end, I must have had so much troubles with this during the week that the video that I watched, it was the very last time we played it, and was like, you know what, I'm going to try something different. And I tried coming back out here where the minimum red line with a sniper was out here. And I was trying to hit it from here to see if I could find a tail somewhere, someplace where there was a funnel. And I damn near ran out of time here, so the shot didn't work out very well because I was dicking around. But I'll go into this area and see if we can just like set it up and put it in the hole. I'm not going to be a fan of hitting off over on this side right here because we're on a slope. And I really don't like hitting off of slopes like this because you can, if you hit in the perfect spot, it'll probably go where you wanted it to. But if you hit a little bit lower than that, the ball's going to want to go off to the right. If you hit a little bit higher than that, the ball's going to want to go off to the left. So if you make a bad wind adjustment, even just a little teeny bit, the ball, it's going to be very inconsistent on this type of terrain. Whereas if you can hit from over here where you're on maybe a flat spot, even though here you still have that upward slope because it's kind of a bowl, it's a whole lot less dramatic than if you hit on a hillside like this. So trying to find some kind of a flat spot to hit your ball for its first bounce is always beneficial. Always. Hole number 7. Hole number 7. Sniper Quasar plus 30 is what my notes say. 1.3 times whatever the wind is. Sniper and a Quasar. And I think I was using a Quasar from back there because I just wanted to see if I could find a spot, and I wanted access to the... You can probably take this with a navigator. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hole number 7. One hole at a time. Woke up this morning and it's raining. It says it's 50 degrees, but it feels like it's 40. Still getting cold at nights. Still getting down into the 30s at night, so it's not good. I guess you do need the side spin. .1. Where am I at in my club? I'm right at max. 6.63 rings. There's 6.63. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get in the hole. Get in the hole! Probably has no shot. Yeah, that was still not enough. Or is that too much? Too much. With that wind, I came in on the right-hand side, so I overpulled it. Yeah, see, you can, the outside over there where my opponent's at, I'm not a fan of hitting off of those types of hills. It's not that you can't make it. I mean, come on. You can make any... You can go from any place out here, and if you get the right stuff, you can make it. But it's all about going back and trying to make it again from that same spot. Let's see what they pulled theirs. They did 4 rings, so they did a straight up adjustment with a 3-power ball, and they're in mid club, so with a power 3 ball, they're probably in mid as opposed to max like I was. And they did not pull it enough. Not at all. In hole. I guess I am qualifying today. I guess I'll have to play my auto account for the rest of the week. I picked one up, so that might be good. so far, minimum score on all these holes is always minus 12. And so far, I haven't seen anything that's taken away from the fact that minus 12 should be minimum score, and then you're trying to pick stuff up from that point. And there are shots on hole number 2. It was a great opportunity, and there's been several other of the I think at least 1 or 2 of the par 5s coming in. The second shot, you had a great opportunity to make a pick up one. Hole number 9. Hold on one second. All right, I'm back. I drank all that coffee, and you know what that means. Had to go talk to a man about a horse. All right. Was that hole number 8? That was. Are we on hole number 8? What hole are we on? I guess I am on hole number 8. For some reason, I was thinking I was on hole number 9. That's what I get for thinking. What the hell was I doing on this hole? I remember what I was doing on this hole. This was a APOC Kingmaker. Doing 5 top spin, 3 right hand side spin, white ring off, plus 10. I think it was plus 10 to the cup. And I was trying to get into this area right over here. Now, once again, this is another one of those holes that I think with a topspin boost ball, you might be able to just get it up there. Because I was down in this area. Was I hitting off the island? I'm not sure where I was hitting off down here, but with 5 topspin, I could stick my APOC right down in that area right there and have a shot for it. But this is one of those holes with a topspin boost ball. I think you can probably get over. Let's try that. Let's try that again. Let's at least look at it so we see what we got. Yeah, that is the topspin boost ball. I need a Kingmaker for the other one. Bag number 5. And let's start off with this ball right here. Just so we can see what it looks like going straight forward, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to curl it over to the right, but we'll see what it looks like. These topspin boost ball, the ball inventory that we're getting and balls coming out, they changed because they changed the side spin. Like it used to be, the side spin used to be different. So like I go back and look at notes or watch a really old video before they changed the side spin and they came out with these side spin boost balls. When we only had 3 side spin, we had a lot more bars. Like now, 3 side spin means 3 bars. 5 side spin means 5 bars. And before was like 8 or 9. I was kind of thinking you could get over to that other fairway. And you might be able to make that with a bigger ball. Now you got to look about where you're at on the drive down there. Hey, bitch. 3, 4, 5. White ring off. 3, 6. It should be 2.5 rings. It's 1.5 per ring. A little less than 2.5. Max curl, no overpower. Hitting it perfect. Oh, fucking sign. I still would have hit the rough and bounced out, but I'm really not a fan of these signs that Golf Clash has put, or Playdemic has put out there on the course, and that they're in play. There's no reason for them to be out there. They're advertising themselves. Like, hey, if you were selling the stuff to Michelin Tires and you're like, hey, in all of our games that we're going to play, we'll put your name on the banner. Then that's a way for them to generate cash. But what they've done is is there anybody playing this game that's not sure that Golf Clash is the name of the game. We don't need them to put fucking signs out on the course. Especially if you get behind one. And I haven't been behind a lot of signs, but I have been behind one, and I've seen people behind the signs. Not a fan. Not a fan. Plus 10. So, there's Min. There's Max. I'm at mid club, which is 1 per ring plus 10. That's 3, so it's like 3 rings. Couple backspin. Hey. Be 3 rings. Exactly. It'll be 2.97. I'm going to do 3. Oh, then I hit a great. Come in great. Ooh! So it might be like plus 5%. It might be a little another 5% or plus 10 plus 0.1. I think I would have missed if I'd hit that perfect. I'd have missed on the other side of the cup. It would have been close, but I think I would have missed if it was perfect. I'm not going to like that sign being there because I'm going to have to go back and watch the video from the last time because I don't think there was a sign there. So, like, they put that sign right there. It's like, hey, there's people that are doing max curl shots coming through here. And they put this sign right in the fucking way. That is total bullshit. And if you don't think that they look at shots that people are doing when they come out with a hole and then they start putting obstructions out there or something changes on that hole, so that's like, hey, we didn't realize that they were going to try a max overpower hook shot on that. I've seen holes where they come out with them and then it's like, hey, we can do a max overpower hook shot here. And then the next time there's an update or the next time we play that hole, suddenly there's a tree out in the middle of the field and the tree's like right in the middle of where the max overpower hook shot was. Or there's trees up by the tee box, so you can't even start off the max overpower hook shot in that direction. All right, hole number 9. That is total bullshit. I'm going to have to go back and watch the last time we played this hole because I don't remember seeing signs out here. No, I definitely would have still clipped the rough because I was too far on the inside on that shot. I might have cleared it where it got the little run going forward, but it did look like I was on trajectory to clip the rough and then bleed out and end up in that area. But I don't remember there being signs there. Maybe there was. I'll have to go back and watch the video on it. It's the big catch video. Hole number 9. Rock Kingmaker, plus 10 on the drive. And we're hitting it down into this area here, doing a second bounce rough bump to just bleed us out. It did seem like there was a rough bump going to the cup, but I've got Grizzly written down, so if there is, we must be able to take it with a Grizzly. Plus 10 on the drive with my rock and a Kingmaker. I'm not sure you have to take Kingmaker here, and you might be able to do the shot with a Katana. Katana, put your red line back in this area. I think one of the reasons I like to use a bigger ball on some of these is so if we got a headwind day, we can still use the same ball and use the same setup. We don't have to change our routine. 3-3, 3-4. Perfect. El Prefecto. 26. Write some numbers down. APOC 7. I'd love to have an APOC 7. Look at all that top spin. I'm not exactly sure if they think they're going to get through all that sand and get over to the other side. I think that's what they're thinking. Okay. Dude, like, what were you thinking? I'm not exactly sure what you were thinking. I mean, if you thought that wasn't going to do what it just did, then I guess you had another thing coming. You got another thing coming. 1 to 1 plus 1. $2.1, 2.2. I was all over this whole last time we played it in that big catch tournament. I think I made this like 4 times that week. Oh, you're not going to make it on a 2-ring grate to the right. I can tell you that. I know in the weekend round of that tournament, this was like the shining spot of the whole weekend round. I made it twice. Made it on both sides. Back-to-back Albies. It's definitely makeable. Hole number 9 is definitely makeable. Nirvana's got enough tops in. You could do a rough bump from there with the Nirvana. Close. All right. We'll see if we get some excitement on this hole as the week goes on. There are some holes here that I think we can... There's definitely some opportunities. Hole number 2 and hole number 9 are definitely the key holes to try and pick shots up on. But there's a lot of other opportunities out there on the course. But there's definitely some spots where you can get into some serious ass trouble. The one where you're trying to do the second bounce rough bump onto the little island and then going for the cup, that one. I think when we played it last time, that was a hole that we'd been kicking ass on all weekend, and in the weekend round, that was the hole that ate Dunner's lunch. You can still recover from down there as long as you don't end up in the drink, but let's see where they picked up shots. They picked up hole number 9. That's definitely one to pick up. Hole number 5, that one's definitely possible. All the par 5s, if you put yourself in the right spot, I think we do have pretty serious Albie shots at them. Hole number 2 is definitely a hole-in-one that we want to get. Those 3 are definitely ones that we can pick up. Hole number 2 is the par 3. They picked that one up. Hole number 3 is par 5. And we just have to get the eagle. How'd they end up with a 16? They must have picked up 4. They picked up 7. That's it. All right, that makes sense to me now. Well, and 7's a par 3, so they made that hole-in-one. So they made one of the par 4s. None of the par 4s. They got 2 par 5s and 2 hole-in-ones. Excellent. Good round. However it works out to minus 16. That's a great round. I definitely see minus 14 as probably being like you're getting yourself into the range if you start to get... we're going to have to build on a 28. Obviously, my opponent got a 32 there, so that's going to be a tough weekend round if you're working on just picking up 2. But we're going to have to pick up 3 on a side. So hole number 2 and hole number 9 are definitely going to be ones to focus on, but we're going to have to work out at least one of the other holes in order to get a really good shot. There you have it. That's the Michigan Lakes tournament. That was my practice. Even though I qualified today, I'm going to count that as a practice round scouting report, just because I have so little time on these holes, I have to go play them to remember the hole. Maybe by the end of this tournament, I'll be able to look at a picture. And it's always funny, if you told me, hole number 6 of this course, I couldn't tell you what hole number 5 of Glen Monarch Estates or Granite Point or Sakura Hills, I couldn't tell you what that hole is. But if you show me a picture, I could tell you 3 different ways to play it. But when I look at some of these newer courses and I'm like, how the hell were we playing that? It's not good. You can usually kind of figure it out, though. All right. Thanks for watching, and hopefully everybody has a great tournament this week. Let's see if I can get together with Dunner and play a couple practice rounds with my odd account, just so to get out there and get a little bit more time out on the course, just to try and work out the numbers. I think what I have now is I know what I want to take from the tee box to get me out to an area. Now I really need to start focusing on the second shot and trying to standardize the first one so that I'm in the same spot over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, so that the second shot we can really try and nail those numbers down. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and be safe.